Greetings viewers, EricTheCarGuy here, back again with, well, I can't necessarily call it a repair video until the end of the video, let's say. But I'm back with catalytic converter cleaning. I've attempted this twice in the past, first on my 1997 Subaru Legacy where I tried to clean the catalytic converter with lacquer thinner. I was told in that attempt that I did not use enough lacquer thinner. It should have been about 1 gallon of lacquer thinner for 10 gallons of gas. I'd used considerably less than that, and I was not effective in using and with that method in using lacquer thinner to try to clean the catalytic converter. So I came back with a second attempt with another suggestion of using soap and water, and I added a little bit of ammonia to that to try to clean the catalytic converter here in my 1993 Acura Vigor. Now that also was not successful, and there were some issues that were pointed out in the comments. The first of which was that I did not thoroughly rinse the catalytic converter after the soap and water treatment, and that is absolutely true. I will concede that. I let it run and figured it would burn off, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. To allay those fears to rest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Vigor out for a nice long drive. I'm going to bring it back into the shop. I'm going to run it at 2,500 RPM and check the catalytic converter temperatures as it is now. This is post cleaning with soap and water. The other issue that you pointed out was possibly that the soap left a residue on the inside of the catalytic converter, causing it not to work properly. I think by now, I've been driving it actually about a month since I shot that video, so I think that shouldn't be a concern at this point. So we'll prove that out by driving it around. Now lastly, many of you also pointed out that using chemicals on metals such as platinum and palladium and gold and some other ones are very resistant to any kind of chemicals. So I could use the sodium hydroxide in this New Bright cleaner, which I used to clean an AC condenser in an earlier video. So if we're not successful, or if I come back and we find out the catalytic converter is not working properly after the long drive, we'll try some of this New Bright in there, clean it out, rinse it thoroughly. Once again, take it out for a nice long drive to burn out any of those contaminants that might be left over, get rid of any moisture in the exhaust, and then once again do a final temperature check. My goal here is to provide you with some ideas or possible options should you find yourself with a catalyst code. Now I've said in all the other previous videos that if the catalyst is damaged in some way, so say the ceramic substrate is broken apart on the inside or melted, then there's no way you're going to be able to bring it back. I'm talking about those codes similar to what I have here. The engine's running good, but this is a 93, so it's been old. Maybe perhaps there's some coating of some soot or something in there that's preventing it from working properly. Honestly, not real sure. It could have also flaked right off of the ceramic and gone out the tailpipe, so it could have nothing left in order to work as a catalyst. So it's really hard to say what the failure is unless we take it apart. Not inclined to do that at this time. However, that's what I believe will, give us our final conclusion on whether or not this is effective. But as I said, trying to save you some money here. Catalysts or catalytic converters are pretty stinking expensive. And if you're able to clean it and pass an emissions test, and better yet, get your vehicle to conform to emission standards that it was designed for, that's a win in my opinion. So really that's what I'm trying to present to you here. I'm not trying to give you hack methods, but I'm trying to, do this in as scientific a way as I can possibly come up with. And if I make a mistake, I'll come back and make a video like this based on your suggestions. So thank you everyone for your suggestions. Let's get started with our testing and find out if we're actually able to clean this catalytic converter or not. Right, well, we just got back from drive up the road to bring this up to operating temperature, and it is, as you can see, up to operating temperature. Brian is now in the car, and it's still warm, but he's gonna bring it up to 2,500 RPM, hold it there, and we'll take our temperature readings. And yes, I did fix this leak. There's a new gasket in there. It's actually looking about the same. It's doing what it did before, where it's hotter at the front than it is at the back. And I surmise that may be because there's more catalyst in the front than there is at the back right now. It is not fixed, but let's try one last thing. Let's try the sodium hydroxide and see what happens. Okay, we're out behind the shop. I have my mix of New Bright sodium hydroxide. I've got it at a pretty, what you might consider, hot mix. It's a little less, well, it's a little more than 2 to 1, so I went for a really strong mix here. And this time, instead of starting at the top, I'm going to start at the back and then let it soak in through the catalytic converter to the front. I'm going to do this, let it soak for about 20 minutes or so. Then I'm going to do a thorough rinsing, and then we'll try it on the car and see if it actually works. All right, I'm just going to do what I can to soak the inside. Wear rubber gloves and do this in a well-ventilated area. Well, we've let this sit for a good, I'd call it 20 minutes or so. And you can see some of the foaming action happen. I actually started out putting it in this side, then I turned it around part way and put the cleaner in through the other direction. Now I'm going to back flush it through here and rinse it and rinse it and rinse it. So there's no question that I did not rinse this enough, okay? We're all on the same page now? All right. But granted, because I didn't rinse it enough last time, is probably one of the reasons that I was not as successful. And we did see slightly different temperature readings, although we did not see the improvement that I was looking for with 100 degrees hotter at the outlet than at the inlet. That's basically what we're going for here. That would indicate that the catalytic converter is working properly. So now we rinse. Now I'm going to flip it around the other way and rinse it in the opposite direction for an equal duration until it comes out clear. Well, at this point the water's coming out clear. That's just bubbles. I'm just spraying that through there. I don't believe there's any more cleaner that's in there. So now I think it's time to install this back on the car, take it out for a long drive, get it heated up to operating temperature, bring it back into the shop and perform the same test we did at the beginning of the video, 2500 RPM, looking for a change in temperature from the front to back of 100 degrees hotter at the outlet and then at the inlet. That's the plan. Right, back again from a spirited drive to heat up the catalytic converter. I'm going to raise it up. Brian's going to get in, raise it up to 2500 RPM. We're going to take our temperature measurements again. Not seeing much change, a little bit, but not much. Not really seeing a significant change. That was our best attempt yet. All right, let's wrap this up. Well, I wish for more of a result. However, we followed all the steps this time. We tried the New Bright from both directions, let it sit for an appropriate amount of time. We thoroughly rinsed everything, took it out for a drive and heated everything up both before and after the testing. Made sure it was at operating temperature, held it at 2500 RPM. Results still the same. The temperatures at the front and rear of that catalytic converter are virtually the same. Now, I've had a theory actually ever since I did the last test with the soap and water that some of the metal that might have been attached to the substrate of this converter might have gone away. I think at this point it's as clean as it's going to be, and you saw it's not broken up or anything on the inside, so I'm saying that there just isn't any metal on that ceramic left to do a catalyst function. That's my suspicion. Now, just a couple of notes that I thought of before I close this out. If you have a problem that causes your catalytic converter to go bad, say you've got a pretty bad misfire, or say you've got an oil burning issue, if you replace that catalytic converter, clean it, whatever, it's very likely that that's going to come back. So if you don't repair the underlying issue, then it's not going to be effective as far as your cleaning. Well, you'll clean it and it'll come back. So you've got to address the overall problems that you're dealing with. And if you have an oil burning problem or a misfire, both of those things are going to cause you to fail emissions anyway, so you're going to need to address those as well. I think this will be my last attempt at cleaning catalytic converters, at least on this vehicle. Maybe we'll find another one and we'll try it out. We'll do a short video, but for now I want to be done with this. But I did want to address many of the concerns that you brought up, because many of them were valid, such as me not rinsing it, that type of thing. So we covered that here. I hope to your satisfaction. You can clean catalytic converters. I just haven't been successful in doing it in a video. However, there are also times when the converter's too far gone and no amount of cleaning is going to do anything. And at that point, you just have to bite the bullet and replace it. But at least you could try something like this beforehand, whether it's the New Bright, soap and water, a little bit of ammonia, or the lacquer thinner if you're so inclined to do that. There's no removal of parts and if you're doing that, which can prove to be a very difficult part of this job. But that about wraps it up. Hey, if you have automotive questions that were not addressed in this video, I would ask that you go over to EricTheCarGuy.com. There's a welcome video there to tell you about all the features available to you at EricTheCarGuy.com to help you with automotive questions, should you have them. I post repair videos here on Eric the Car Guy every Friday, so look for those then. And if you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter, and I close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. I'll see you next time.